It's a question almost of what hasn't or has gone right really for Tesco. You've seen competition across the board from the new discount supermarkets. Accounting problems, of course, the major one really. Problems in its Asian unit. The fact that Tesco really has taken its eye off the ball of its core business over the last 5 years or so really. Dave Lewis has a major uphill task in restoring confidence in the brand. Now, the meeting this morning, the announcements this morning, go some way to restoring that because he's outlined a basic strategy, but for the time being I think Tesco finds itself really between a rock and a hard place. It needs to restore confidence while at the same time beginning to embark on a long-term turnaround plan. Well, that's his great advantage, the fact he's still new and he's not tainted by the problems that went before. They're all sort of investors for the moment are giving him the benefit of the doubt and saying, well, that was under Phil Clarke, that was under Broadbent, and all the others that have now either stepped down or have been suspended for the time being. So he has the time to start moving Tesco in the right direction. And time essentially is what he needs. He needs time to rebuild relationship with suppliers. Now, as an ex-Unilever man, that will be his forte, but also to rebuild trust with consumers, focus on making the visits to stores a more pleasurable experience, or as pleasurable as it can be really, and avoiding complex discounts and promotions in favour of clear, predictable pricing that people can then put trust in the Tesco brand and know that they're getting a good deal, because that's the most important thing. When they're facing things like Aldi and Lidl, it's the value of the shopping that the consumers will look for. Well, it's good news in a sense, I think, because Lloyds is trying to get the first march on competitors. Now, the suggestion is that you'll get a long-standing decline, about 10% a year, really, in terms of branch activity. So Deutsche Bank estimates that the sector as a whole could cut back on its actual branch network by almost 3/4 in the next decade. Lloyds continues to see improvement in its businesses in terms of personal loans and mortgages. For the moment, it has the confidence, shall we say, of investors, especially with looking to return to paying dividends next year. One point on the horizon, though, of course, the rise of the challenger banks. Now, they're focusing on the loans and the mortgages that Lloyds has at its main consumer business, and it needs to maintain a competitive offering in the face of this kind of competition, this rivalry, if it is to sort of hold on to that confidence that investors are giving them.